Do you ever feel like you could use just a little bit of extra help in your D&D campaign? Or maybe you just want to level up your game without adding a ton of extra prep work onto yourself? Well, let me tell you about an amazing tool, which you've probably already heard of, but something that you can use is called ChatGPT. It can help you big time, whether you're doing play-by-post like I do, or if you're sitting around a table with friends in a real-time game. I want to dive into ChatGPT and how it can help you. Today, we're going to talk about how you can use ChatGPT to enhance your D&D games. Whether, like I said, it's play-by-post like I play, or if you're doing real-time games with your group, ChatGPT can be an amazing resource. I'm going to show you how I personally use it and how you can use it to create a more immersive experience for your players. Now, before I dive into this and I get into the meat of the matter, I'm really excited to tell my Ptolus folks and my Patreon supporters about something truly epic that's coming down the pipeline. I am custom programming a ChatGPT bot, which will crawl my entire Ptolus website, all of the Ptolus resources, and be able to answer your questions about the setting. This is going to be a Patreon only benefit, the first one that I've ever done. And I might even have to set it to a certain tier so that you can gain access to it. I'm honestly just not sure yet because I don't know how much the cost is going to be. There is a cost associated with using the ChatGPT API. So there's going to be more about this soon, but right now, let's talk about ChatGPT being the ultimate DM/GM assistant and how to use ChatGPT in your play-by-post games. I'll get to live action in a bit. So first off, play-by-post. Near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite way to play. As many of you know, I run my campaign in the PvP style, and ChatGPT has been an awesome tool to make my game even more fun, smoother, and faster. So here's how I use ChatGPT in my games. Let's say you're deep into a storyline and your character needs to interact with a complex NPC, but you're short on time and you haven't fully fleshed out their dialogue or their responses. Well, you can use ChatGPT to write those interactions. You just have to feed it a little bit of context. Something like, my character is talking to a shady merchant who's hiding something but willing to cut a deal. ChatGPT will spit out responses and dialogue ideas that feel dynamic and will help keep that story flowing for you. You can even tweak its responses to better fit your style. You can add extra prompts onto it saying, that's not aggressive enough, or whatever. It also works great for coming up with quick descriptions or for the settings or helping you brainstorm a cool encounter on the fly. When you're posting every day, it saves a lot of time. Honestly, it's like having a co-DM in your pocket. I even started paying for it because I was having a co-DM assist me, and ChatGPT does an amazing job. So let's now talk about if you don't do play-by-post, how can you enhance your real-time D&D campaign? ChatGPT is not just for play-by-post. If you're running a real-time game around the table or online with friends, however you do that, it can also take some of the pressure off and help you run that game smoothly. So picture this. You're deep into a game session, the players have just thrown you a curveball. They decided to go in a completely different direction than you planned for. That sound familiar, right? It's a classic DM narrator nightmare, okay? This is where ChatGPT can save you. Instead of scrambling for an idea on the spot, you can ask ChatGPT for some quick suggestions, whether it's a plot twist, NPC motivation, or even the layout of a simple dungeon. ChatGPT can give you something you can work with instantly. And if you have your laptop or your phone right there at the table, you can use it mid-session, no problem. Another way to use ChatGPT in real time is just random encounters or treasure generation. My website, d20.pub, I've got all these different random encounters and random generators and all of this kind of stuff laid out on all these different websites. ChatGPT doesn't replace all of those, but it can do a ton of work. So let's say your players beat a monster, you want to give them something unique. Well, ask ChatGPT to create a magic item on the fly, complete with lore and even a cool name if you want to give it a moniker. You don't have to scramble through the Dungeon Master's Guide to find something that just doesn't quite fit. One of my favorite parts about D&D is just the collaborative storytelling, and ChatGPT can help with this as well. Remember, D&D is all about storytelling. It is a collaborative story that we're all telling together, and ChatGPT can be a secret weapon in making that storytelling even richer. You can use ChatGPT to brainstorm character backstories, even work with players to develop new plot hooks. Imagine having an AI helping to flesh out the secret society in your world, or generating ideas for the creepy dungeon the players are about to explore. And since it's collaborative, it doesn't take the creativity away from you or your players, it's just making things easier for you. You can also use ChatGPT to assist you in game preparation and just getting ready for the game. So one of my favorite uses is prepping for a session. I'll ask it to give me detailed descriptions of locations. If you're doing Ptolus, you can feed in the descriptions that are provided in the book and ask it to maybe extrapolate on those. You can also create NPCs with quirks that make them feel more alive. And if I'm feeling really ambitious and my characters aren't going to, or my players aren't going to lose their mind, I might even have it generate like a puzzle or something. But we all know that puzzles typically pose big problems for D&D players. One of the things we all struggle with is also managing our notes, managing the NPCs, locations, all the information about the campaign. But it's not just about the preparation. When you're juggling all of these NPCs, all the locations and the plot details, ChatGPT can be a huge help in keeping track of everything. If you are feeding in your notes, feeding in the information and the stuff that you've generated from the session, and then let's say you need to know when your party last encountered a particular NPC. I just used this feature. You just ask ChatGPT. It can remember, like, let's say the last time how you described a spooky tavern, right? ChatGPT has you covered if you feed those notes into it. Again, with Play by Post, this is super easy because it's all typed out, it's all text, we feed everything in there. If you're doing live sessions, then you're going to have to give it some of those notes. But if you're keeping digital notes, if you have your players feed you some of that information, you can put that right into ChatGPT, and then it's going to remember that so you can ask about it later. By combining ChatGPT with your regular notes, you have this organized system that's going to help you maintain consistency in your stories. So you're not going to have to dig through all these old notebooks. You're not going to have to struggle to remember these little details, which are going to make your world feel rich and alive. Talking about NPCs and locations, if you're playing in Ptolus, there's a ton of those already, but there's always opportunities where we just need to generate these things on the fly. So let's not forget one of my favorite uses, generating NPCs out of thin air. ChatGPT can do it. You guys have all had this happen, right? Your players walk into a shop and whatever NPC that you did not plan for them to talk to, and they decide that now they want to talk to that person. They want to get to know more about them, or maybe they're going to go into a part of the town that you haven't really fleshed out very much. Ptolus is a gigantic book. I'm sure whatever campaign setting you're in, there's a ton of information about it. Well, you can feed in some of that stuff, and then you could just type in something like generate a description for a friendly blacksmith with a secret past. ChatGPT will instantly give you detailed NPC that fits right into your story. The same goes for locations. Again, there's a ton of those predetermined, but if, the party just suddenly wants to visit an abandoned temple, ChatGPT can generate a fully fleshed out description in seconds. I did another video where I talk about how to hide details, the details that you want them to pick up on, but not necessarily making it so glaringly obvious in descriptions. ChatGPT does a great job of this as well because they can give you a lot of extra narrative, a lot of extra information, so you can hide those tidbits in there that you don't want it to be like, hey, look at this thing right now, right? Description is great, but honestly, a lot of times we want something physical, tangible. We want to be able to see what we're talking about, or we want to be able to show our players something. Well, the AI art world is pretty incredible. ChatGPT can generate images for NPCs, magic items. It can even do whole scenes. It can do a ton of stuff. ChatGPT can enhance your D&D games by generating these custom images for your NPCs, your magic items, and just really bring that fantasy world to life. I just did this with a magic item found in the Ugly Ink campaign, where they found this axe. I typed in a little description of what it looks like, and boom, it just popped it out. And I'll share that image here. It makes things so much more fun to have these visualizations to go with that description. So whether you need just a quick visual for a mysterious merchant, a powerfully enchanted sword, or even like a vivid landscape to go along for your next adventure, ChatGPT can create detailed and imaginative artwork. These visuals add depth and immersion to your campaigns, which really helps your players better connect with the world and the characters that they interact with and that they're playing. Again, this is perfect for both play-by-post games and real-time sessions. The generated images just help your storytelling feel more dynamic and more engaging. I do want to share a patron named Scott told me they preferred Midjourney for AI art generation, which as opposed to the DALL-E, D-A-L-L-E generator that ChatGPT uses. I honestly haven't tried that one. I've heard some other people talking about it. If you haven't joined our Ptolus Discord and you play Ptolus, jump onto that as well. There's a link in the description down below. I have seen some other people share about Midjourney, but I wanted to pass that information on to you guys, and I'd love to see in the comments or over on the Ptolus Discord what you guys have done. We want to see your artwork. Oh, I hope this has encouraged you at least to try to use ChatGPT and make your game just a little bit better. It's an awesome tool for enhancing your D&D experience, whether you're doing play-by-post or you're sitting around a table with a group of friends, which I'm jealous, but I still really, really love my play-by-post. And it's not about replacing your creativity as a narrator. It's about giving you a little extra support to make your game smoother, more dynamic, more fun, and hopefully just make your job easier. So the next time you're prepping for a session, or if you find yourself in a pinch mid-game, give ChatGPT or another AI a try. Honestly, it's like having a digital co-DM who's always ready to help, who's always happy to answer questions no matter what time it is or what it is that you're doing. And honestly, who knows? Maybe you could come up with something for even your next great adventure, right? The idea is just to make your job easier and more fun. Please let me know down in the comments how you use ChatGPT or any other AI in your games. I want to know if you're already doing it. I want to know if you've considered doing it. And if you have questions about ChatGPT specific things, I'm going to start doing some more videos on this to help you all out and how to use this, how to make your life easier, and even show you some of the specific prompts that I use and some of the content that has been generated from that. If you click on the link in the description down below for the blog post that goes along with this video, I have included some of those prompts with some of the information that is generated from that, just to give you an idea of what it's done for me. Also, I've included in that blog post, and hopefully you've seen on the video here, all of this artwork was generated by ChatGPT. You can give it prompts, you can ask it to generate something for you, and just see what gets spit out. I am currently paying for the premium version of it because I also use it for my job, but there's a ton that you can do with the free service. So just give it a try. Let me know in the comments, let me know in the Ptolus Discord, and, go do all the YouTube stuff. Everybody else tells you to do it. Like, subscribe, roll a D20 to hit the bell so you can get notified when I post a new video. But until next time, stay out of the shadow of the Spire.